our athletes are, well, I guess our athletes and other athletes are being treated, I mean, horrifically in China at the Olympics.
Yeah, so our athletes go, but then they're treated horribly.
Yes.
Well, what do you know? They're not treated fairly.
Right. And neither is from any country. In fact, it's starting to look like China is trying to almost rig the Olympics.
Shock. Shock and awe.
They have these COVID testing requirements, and I think you have to be tested, almost every day.
Yeah.
And
yes,
there are athletes being quarantined for 18 days after they tested positive. I think the CDC guidance is 5 days after you test positive. I mean, I just had COVID, and it was, I think, 5 days before I could go out again. So there's no way that they still have the virus. They're being quarantined for 18 days. I'd like to show a picture of the meals that they are eating.
This is the worst.
And tell me, I mean, this is worse than what Michelle Obama would make you eat for lunch in middle school.
Horrible.
It's
I mean, it's a pretty close call at that point.
I can't even tell what that white stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Is.
This is what they're eating.
These are what the best athletes in the world are eating.
Yes.
They're burning like so many calories to stay in fit form.
Yeah.
And that is not even going to get a third of one meal.
And that's even if you choose to eat it. I mean, I'm not sure I'd be comfortable even choosing to eat that.
Yeah, that looks pretty.
There's athletes talking about how their bones were showing once they left quarantine because they had been eating this 3 times a day for 2 weeks straight. Of course, when they leave quarantine, they're weak. They're trapped in small rooms. There's stories about athletes being drug out of their beds at 3 a.m. to be moved to a different isolation room
for self-isolation.
For self-isolation, yes. And then they're woken up again and brought to a different room, and there are these tiny little boxes that they're stuck in.
Wow.
For days, weeks at a time, and then they're brought back and they're thrown out to compete.
They're thrown out to compete.
How can someone who's been quarantined for 18 days eating that?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the mental impacts too. You know, part of competing in a sport is being mentally fit too, right? You have to be on it. I mean, your mind has to be sharp, including your body.
Yes.
So you're physically weak and you're mentally weak. And then China magically does well in these competitions. So it's super interesting. I think we're the first to potentially talk about this is China rigging the Olympics. I mean, what do you guys is that what it looks like to you? I mean, that's what it looks like to me.
It looks like rigging.
All in the name of COVID, right?
It looks like rigging.
Looks like rigging.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like you'll probably never be able to like really definitionally say yes, they rigged the 2022 Olympics. But it's like also, you know, if it walks like a duck, squawks like a duck, it's a duck.
They have the perfect opportunity to say it's all in the name of COVID, right?
Yeah.
So they just say, oh, well, we're just protecting
They can hide behind
athletes.
all those things. They can pretend like they're giving their athletes the same food, and there's no way.
Yeah.
They micromanage their Olympic athletes so much.
Yeah.
You know, the state is involved at every level that, like really deeply from when those athletes are like super young. There's no way that they would not give them like full nourishment throughout all of this. There's no way they're doing that with their athletes.
No way.
No way.
Impossible. So
no way.
Yeah, that would constitute rigging in my book.